Right.
First pick support, another support ban, and an early pick AD carry.
Saw that early Malzahar, and then it was Liquid who grabbed up the Kha'Zix and the Ashe, showing they do want Piglet and Reignover to have those priority picks when they can on the red. Now into ban phase 1 here. 3 from each side. 2 have started for Liquid with that Rise and Fiora. Now over to Counter Logic for their second after Rengar.
Yeah, so for those of you who are just joining us in the North American LCS, new pick ban. The phase 2 of ban starts after the first 3 picks on both sides. So essentially, the first little bit of the draft is theoretically exactly the same as it used to be.
Right.
However, there are added pressures to the team because they know after they have made their first 3 picks, the other team gets to ban 2 extra champions now. So if you're opening yourself up and not matching roles with the other team, your champion pools can be very heavily attacked.
You don't actually... That's something to mention, though, is usually you don't see teams mismatch the champion selects as they go back and forth. Camille banned for Liquid.
Yeah, and so just to explain what's happening in a lot of these bans, Camille, LeBlanc, and Rengar are usually red side bans. And since CLG had already banned 2 of them, you would have expected that Team Liquid just like, well, let's make them ban the Camille then. Unless Lorlo literally hasn't played it and they didn't want to first pick it.
Yeah.
So this could still be a signal for other teams throughout this weekend that Team Liquid is vulnerable to Camille and would be forced to ban it on the blue side.
Very interesting. We did see Lorlo just kind of take to the tanks in that top lane throughout his play. Kha'Zix was picked up for Reignover. He felt very good on that the first game, and it will be CLG that picks up the Ashe, however. This time, it will not be a combination for Team Liquid.
Just goes to show you some of the differences between pro play and your standard play, that Ashe is just the AD carry. Slightly longer range. These pros are so good at manipulating that in lane, but specifically it's the Ashe arrow, the longest range initiation.
When you have kind of the, depending on their items, an unconditional initiation, you just fire it. You got to hit it. You have good aim, and we've seen a lot of the arrows today hitting or doing what they need to. Zyra is picked up.
CLG arguably puts an even higher priority on their supports this time. They get the Zyra and the Ashe.
That's very true.
An impeccable lane. Oftentimes you see the misfortune coming into Zyra. I like to think of it as something you can pick into it, but Zyra still has the advantage. Although yesterday we saw Cloud9 almost seem to bait TSM into a Zyra pick just to pick MF for Smoothie, and Smoothie had a great game. So it definitely can go both ways, depending on the skill. We'll see if Team Liquid picks MF or if they go with something like Lulu again.
Huh. Interesting pickup for Nautilus this time, not the Maokai.
Yeah.
Feeling something different.
I'm actually kind of fascinated by that when Maokai is available.
Right. And you just crushed a game with it.
Against Nautilus. So Team Liquid...
I'm going to show you how that's supposed to work.
I'm going to do both sides of this matchup.
All right. Looking at the Karma as well. We'll see what they have in store.
Wow. Yeah. And
Six behind them saying, all right, let's do it. Karma.
Yeah, no MF, so they prefer the Karma, it feels like. Keep Matt on something that can shield, helps super tank the tanks and also protect the carries a little bit instead of getting the damage threat that you would be getting out of a Misfortune or a Zyra.
Seeing that top, it's kind of not really a question. We have the Maokai still up. Darshan could have quite an easy lane, or safe lane, I should say. Not easy, but it's not. Maokai gets passed up and it goes for the Jace.
Yep.
Locked in for Darshan.
So CLG going with a different style. There's a chance it could actually be going mid lane, but I agree with you that it's probably for Darshan just based on the style of CLG in general. They also match the top lane role, so to speak. So Maokai most likely to go undrafted in this game. Although expect some jungle bans coming out of Team Liquid in phase 2 and some marksman bans coming out of CLG right here. Question will be, does Piglet go with Kalista, which was banned last game?
Vayne.
Hey, it could happen. Vayne into Ashe Zyra, let's go. No,
that's when you prove you're a real monster. Yeah, that would be a bad idea. 9 seconds left on this one. Liquid taking a bit more time here on their picks.
Yeah.
I should say bans.
Yeah, well, interesting that they banned the mid laner actually here.
Yep.
As you can see on the bottom left of the screen for phase 2.
And this was left open last time.
Instead of jungle, because let's look at the junglers that are banned, right? It's Kha'Zix and Rengar, and you'd expect Lee Sin is just clearly the next best.
Yeah.
Although they would have to ban Lee Sin and Rek'Sai to push him onto something, and he's also a very good Elise. So there's a chance they just don't think they can ban him out here because that's 3 champions that he can particularly play. And instead, they just go to ban out Huhi.
A lot of these as well, they're looking at in bans, comp synergy, right? You have that Syndra, if that gets taken to the mid lane, that Jace does go top. There's a lot of long range hit right there. Desire's gonna come up, latch you down, and you're just gonna get you anyways.
Very true, that's a great point. Syndra is the one thing that you can CC with,
Yeah.
and then with Rush CLG, it's a one-shot on anyone but Nautilus. So, potentially smart bans. They banned Olaf, which could be a jungle ban or a top lane ban, either way.
Been seeing the Viking out and about recently, and he has seen some bans. We'll just have to wait to see him on the Rift.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of disappointed. We've seen so many Olaf bans. Not enough Olaf games.
Sure, you can see him in solo queue. It's just not the same. Lee Sin get picked up again for Smithy. He was, I wouldn't say dominant on it, but looked very comfortable, made the plays he needed to make to try to get the team back in. We'll see what he does again.
Smithy always been a solid Lee Sin player. Team Liquid A-okay with giving it to him, though, as you can see by their bans. They had the opportunity to get rid of it. And a Twitch!
Wow. Woo. The 10-ban system, Jack. Gotta love it.
Hey.
This is awesome. Twitch gets locked in. That's going to be a fast Ori as well. So Golden Glue is going to be dancing around a little bit. Aurelian Soul, that wheelhouse for Huhi. Loves to fly around with the stars, make an impact on the game.
Well, CLG forced Team Liquid's hand to go away from the utility 80 carries, and
Very
Piglet
true.
goes right back at him and says, all right, Twitch hyper carry. We're going to go Orianna Karma for shielding and just beat you in lane last time despite not prioritizing picks. They think they can get him enough farm. And we got the Aurelian Sol for Huhi as well, so all right.
I mean, that was one of the questions, right? That we Dash just asked Steve. Are you confident that if that utility meta breaks, he's back in it? Well, we'll find out.
Well, the thing is, Piglet has historically not been a guy who would love the utility
Exactly.
meta. He loves playing Lucian, Ezreal, Kalista, the stuff he was playing like Ezreal back when he won a world championship.
Yep.
And even when Kalista was really in the meta, Piglet would dominate people in lane on that champion. But Twitch not known as a lane dominant pick, especially against Ashe Cyrus, so he's going to have to do his best to survive. And really feels like Team Liquid put together a cohesive team composition.
Yeah, even had that run on Corki for a while when Corki was a thing. We'll have to see what they do. The Aurelian Soul, like we said, picked up for Counter Logic Gaming. Jace in the top lane, so they've gone away from the tanks, a little bit more power to punch against Team Liquid with here with this composition, and they do have that Ashe arrow. We talked about it quite a bit. Like Chad said, it may not be the thing you see in solo queue, but in professional play, that is the bread and butter to initiate from a bot position.
Yeah.
The coaches once again walking off stage as they have given their players the final words of wisdom as they head onto the Rift.
Yeah, and you always wonder how much these guys are thinking ahead in the draft versus being reactive. But
Yeah.
we thought it was weird that Lorlo picked Nautilus over Maokai. It's possible that it's because they wanted to get Piglet on Twitch somehow. And if you're talking about tanks that are great against Twitch, Nautilus is better than Maokai against Twitch, in my opinion, because as soon as
Yeah,
Twitch opens up
that's
from
true.
stealth, you press your ultimate on him and Twitch dies. So making sure they control the Nautilus stops that. So
Kind of a
we'll see
safety
if Team
pick.
Liquid can pull this off.
All right, we are on to the Rift. TL side on the blue. CLG switches over to red for this one. And Smithy and Rainover staying on the same junglers. We'll see if they have the same priorities this time. As we heard the desk talking about that early pressure for Lorlo, a flash from Darshan was taken, and that gave him the lane. The rest of Rainover's presence was known in the bottom lane. We'll see if TL changes that up. Counter Logic Gaming has seen their playbook once here in Game 1. We'll see how they change it up as well with this new comp.
Yeah, and we also get the Aurelian Sol Huhi factor, which was their main way of beating teams on the world stage when we saw them most recently. And while other teams don't prioritize this pick, CLG still sees a lot of strength on it. And one of the reasons CLG likes this pick so much is because of how well Huhi can shove the lane early and open up options to make plays extremely early in the game. Last game, the big fight in the bottom lane happened when people were hitting level 6. Huhi wants to affect the map long before then, and CLG would look to snowball.
Storm Raider surge for him. One we don't usually see all too often. Focus on the bot lane a bit. It's going to be pretty hefty in that level 2 here. If Stixxay and Aphromoo can get what they want. They tried to go aggressive with the Malzahar Varus lane last time. A little more CC for that level 2.
Can't quite get him.
Oh, step in. Yep. Dance it out. Clockwork wind up. Get those auto attacks going. Get those auto attacks going. Yeah, that's what.
Double Ghost Burn. But meanwhile, they're going for a blue invade. I think eXmithie can get it.
Nice.
Wow.
All right, Rainover instantly heads to the other side of the jungle. He's like, all right, we need to change the path up a little bit here.
Well, now Rainover would want to go red buff enemy blue, but eXmithie can actually beat him there if he runs for it. And Rainover doesn't know if he will or not, so it's actually a guessing game now in the jungle since it's been a slight edge early. Huhi out of mana. Just trying to shove the wave. Great job by Golden Glue to get these trades off. Most people just concede the shove to Aurelion Sol.
Love it. Both of them already blew their ghost in that early, and they're still going at it toe-to-toe. Back actually here for Huhi as he's going to zoom back in. Rainover clears up. Which is seen as well.
Yeah,
nicely hit.
Yeah, Rainover didn't want to take a risk of trying to invade blue very early. He takes a conservative early recall since he had to take so much damage from the Raptors, which he was forced into doing early. Not something Kha'Zix wants to do. So trying to make the best of a bad situation.
Aphromoo trying to gain brush control. A lot more aggression here by CLG in the early level 2. They were being backed up by their turret as they were hitting 3, so it's looking a little bit better. Doesn't mean the lane, but they're in a better position for eXmithie to help them out.
Oh yeah, and last game where we saw Team Liquid pushing Stixxay into an early recall is unlikely to happen this game. Ashe and Zyra just have so much reach
keep pushing
in lane, as long as they're not getting hit by those empowered Qs from Karma.
Makes it nice. Piglet should know though. They just played it. They pushed in CLG. So they'll know that the push-in is coming. Good damage onto Darshan as him and Lorlo trade a bit. And Rainover already looking to get himself a little bit.
This is really clever by Rainover. And that takes a lot of communication right there because they saw Darshan feint to put the ward down. Rainover didn't go into that brush. He pinged that he was going to come around the back in the tri-brush. And that's what he's doing. He's kind of hoping to see eXmithie at some point. He's going to just take Krugs for now. Is he going to get spotted by that minion wave, though? That's always the trick.
eXmithie actually just pinged.
Yeah, I saw ping, so eXmithie didn't see it, but he's expecting him to be there.
They have the inkling. It's going to take him a while to take the next Krugs that pop out. Now they will see each other, but he has the jump. Yeah. Oh.
But he'd popped the plant to get over in the first place, so he had to flash away.
Darshan low on mana here. Actually, still hasn't gone back to buy either for that top lane.
Ooh. Rainover actually in a bad spot.
Good hit. Lorlo's brought into this one as well. He tries to get on the other side of Lorlo if they can get the auto attacks into Rainover. A few more hits. Huhi with the roam very, very early picks up that kill. You said there was a good amount of communication going on between CLG, and they make it come together.
Exactly, and that's before the level 6 spike. That's what Huhi does and what CLG does with Aurelion Sol is they orchestrate these early plays. Rainover had tried to go for the early invade. eXmithie caught him out. Now they're getting summoners from Golden Glue with an Aphromoo roam.
Oh, the autos. Ghost blown there as well by Golden Glue. Tries to get himself a little help, or give a little help, and gets himself into trouble on that.
Yeah, and even though Aurelion Sol is not a meta pick, it just unlocks so much for CLG. Rainover level 3 gets a little greedy trying to stick around and take the crab. Darshan low on health and mana, which made Lorlo think he could go assist. Ends up burning Lorlo's flash as well. And then when they came back to the mid lane, Riv, Aphromoo went and roamed so that any advantage Golden Glue could have gained from the mid lane wouldn't have been gained.
That was really smart.
And he was able to do that because they prioritize their bottom lane. So like, CLG just focuses so well when they're in these scenarios and they can just play off a couple of advantages in lane to spread across the whole map.
Yeah, definitely clicking for the early game moves. And it was the instance of really putting Rainover off. A hawk shot, then seeing him. They've been able to track him a little bit. So making that move for CLG was that much easier by just a little. 6 minutes in here. Rainover still can come out of the jungle quite strong. Hits that bot lane. If he can get in there when Piglet goes in Viz, they still have a pretty good 6 if they can get there before CLG. That also looks like it won't happen. Culling for Piglet, so they're just going to sit back, breathe, and farm away.
And Team Liquid's going to need to farm away for a little while. You know, they have the call on the Twitch, as you mentioned. Golden Glue's going to need a few more items. They're not going to hit level 6 first in the bottom lane. Golden Glue trying to roam up top, but really, CLG potentially has 3 pushing lanes right now, which gives eXmithie absolute freedom. And since they already have the 1,300 gold lead in the first blood, they're really going to look to snowball this game, because if you think about team fighting, Team Liquid's team fighting is way better. So CLG needs to be able to take a big advantage in the early game.
46 to 55 here in the bot. So like we said, that 6 will happen early. Uhi is grabbing up some sustain. He's also trying to get some wards down. They made sure they have the river safe, though. Uhi can fly up and down the river, utilize more of this first kill that he's got. He Swifties for his first buy, as usual, so he can make those plays for the team. Sometimes fizzles out if they can't continue to go down mid. We saw the first time they used it would crush mid, crush the secondary, and then the third one didn't work. And once you can't get past that wall of the inhibitor turret, it seems that rush down mid kind of fizzles. So, not on a timer, but Counter Logic Gaming can make those plays.
3-man dive here, and they may have gotten spotted off by that scuttle crab, but they're going to push him off turret at least. He's going to have to bail.
Continuing the pressure, not giving up anything here in the sense of time. If they have time, they're going to use it. They go top lane. Looks like he's going to go ahead and back here. Actually, just take a safe path. Teleport from Lorlo, picks him up a good amount of CS. 2 rings for him, trying to stay healthy as he is continually getting pressured this game.
Very true, and next roam, that turret's going to go down. So 2/3 of a turret already for CLG in that lane. He's been able to roam a lot on the Reliant Assault. Well, that's going to hurt Darshan a bunch, though.
Nice little in and out. Darshan's teleport not up just yet, but he's still going to go ahead and back if he can. See Lorlo walking up. Let's go it slow. Looks like he'll get out in time. So ward set up now. CLG has a lot of control over that top side of the map. Last game, it was bottom side really for both teams here.
Yeah, it's interesting. Last time when the Rainover takes a bunch of damage. Last game in the bottom lane, it was a fairly even champion matchup, so the jungler intervention could swing it in one direction. Here, CLG just has a better champ select as far as shoving. After they clear this wave, they're only going to be up 4 or 5 CS, so credit to Piglet and Matt for keeping this CS up. But from a map pressure perspective, it's a hard lane for Xmithy to gank because Piglet and Matt are sitting far back. And it's a tricky lane for Rainover to gank because he'd be worried about a counter gank, obviously. That's why they've been going top.
He has been super power farming, though. Xmithy roaming a bit more to find lanes. No ganks, though, but 51 to 37 in that CS. Rainover was kind of tagged on a little bit in the early game, but he made sure to get himself back in.
The really tricky thing about jungle CS this season as well is there's like 700 Raptors and 1 Gromp, and they give the same amount of experience. So if we even just look at the gold, Xmithy is still up gold over Rainover, even though it may look like Rainover has more farm. So he's trying his best to keep up, but after getting the blue stolen away and also getting first blooded, it's an uphill battle.
Ward through. Nice job by Counter Logic Gaming. Definitely going to pressure down on the bottom turret here. A bit more of a lead. No move from Huhi just yet, so this may not be too strong of a push. Slow move by Rainover. No, it's going to be the TP in. Is he in range? The flash hit. Depth charge hits him. Darshan gets stopped. And they may hold off on this one. Now Huhi's come down over the walls. Golden Glue Rainover just off on the wing, ready to join the fight, and things taking a little bit too long. It fizzles out.
Good disruption by Team Liquid there. Lorlo flashed for that depth charge, and that would have been the 5v4, but temporary 5v2 for CLG. Team Liquid just needs to keep holding on and stopping those plays from happening so they can get to that monster death ball teamfight composition they put together.
They're right now. Oh, he jumps into it like a moth to a flame, and he's gonna go down, kicks him back. Ooh, he grabs the kill. Very heady by Xmithy to make sure that didn't go to him. He said, here, on a platter, buddy. Who he picks at him. Oh, personal flash and command shockwave. Nicely done by Golden Glue.
Yeah, I think the term for that is the sombrero.
It is.
When they throw the Orianna ball on the top and flash with it. So gets one back as CLG roamed everyone else to the other side of the map. Golden Glue finally matching a roam. But who's going to get first turret? Could be right here for CLG.
I got my blood pumping. Let's see some more of that. 2-1. 12 minutes in, things start to pop off. And we're going to see mid turret going down here. CLG works on the pressure around the map. One more. There it is. They're able to take it down. A 2K gold lead as they pressure on through the mid turret.
Some exciting plays right there. We're going to get to see this. Check out the vision on this one. As Rainover wasn't actually on a ward, but he'd been through a ward before. And then he went to run away, sees CLG, and is like, I better run away from this.
Right, that split-second decision.
Little did he know there was an Ash arrow there, and they chained it. But, as we mentioned, golden glue, as Darshan had taken some damage to the turret. Pulls the ball. Nice play there by Golden Glue. That's the guaranteed Orianna ultimate. See a lot of players mess that up, but Golden Glue pulls it off.
That, and you can only do it in ARAM, but LeBlanc and Orianna. If they write them in a game together, it's such a fun initiative. But you can do it yourself if you flash in.
Yeah. Very nice. Although, Stack GOP picked up by Huhi. His roaming has been very effective. It's keeping CLG up in this game. And they even got the mid lane turret because of the roams happening from the other lane. CLG just rotates so well when they're on these comfortable shoving champions. And their biggest strength, which is their map movements, are really being utilized in this game.
As well, Darshan now on more of that power champion. He can make an impact in his lane. Also draw respect. Possible just on the outside. Piglet's able to get himself in Viz, but stays for the fight knowing he has Matt for support. They're going to have to figure out what's going on in his bot side here, or I should say bottom of top. Lorlo wants to engage. Rainover coming in slow, depth charge, and then Dredgeline miss. So it looks like they back off for a moment. Yeah. CLG as well, giving up the pressure.
A couple of ults, though, with no real solution. I think they were hoping to be able to combo Orianna, Kha'Zix, Nautilus and just kind of 100 to 0 Darshan, but he had enough assistance there as the dual lane keeps roaming up. And even with 4 people top, all of their lanes are shoving. So CLG doing a very good job keeping the waves in check.
He back down to bot as well. Communication right now for CLG is we can pressure because we're stronger, and we just have to be safe since he cannot make it right away. And they are doing that perfectly, yo-yoing the fight in and out. Enough for this to be taken down. More map control for Counterlogic Gaming. What a switch from last game as well. They really turned this over. The break in between.
Ash arrow.
They needed. Golden Glue gets kicked back. That's not to safety. That's the death. Stixxay's going to get out. He's really hurting this fight. Matt and Piglet trying to run off on this. The chase onto Rainover. Not having as good of a game. Gets taken down. Solo killed there by Huhi as he gets caught roaming through the river. And
with the outer ring of protection of 2 turrets being down for Team Liquid, CLG is just finding more picks on a more spacious map. Ash Arrow lands, also Huhi catches Rainover down in the river, and now they're going to look to push 5v3 on this next turret.
Matt trying to get the Inner Flames to the back, clear these minions. Very, very big damage. This could be a little overstayed welcome. Darshan's going to go down, but I don't think too much more will come of this. Lorlo is in range. Slow just a bit, and they won't be able to catch up for now. So Team Liquid push back. Counterlogic Gaming a little ahead of themselves as they try to melee the turret down in face of TL.
Yeah, Darshan overstayed a little bit, but let's watch this. Stixxay fires Ash Arrow from Fog of War. Lands on Golden Glue. Golden Glue tries to ult Stixxay, but he's going to flash out of it.
Nicely done.
Then when he kicks back, you can see if Stixxay wouldn't have flashed out that ultimate, he actually would have died. So, heady play of him to flash. Meanwhile, Huhi zoning Rainover. After we make sure that Huhi can secure that kill. TL gets a turn on the backside of the replay.
Push out, sometimes that's all it takes. Is it enough ground for TL though? That call very close to be finished for Piglet, so I'll have a bit more gold to spend on his power.
Woo! All right, CLG, a very turret heavy team right here, looking to siege outside. Mountain Drake actually ideal Drake for them here. They have 4 ranged champions, kind of, if you consider Aurelion Sol range with the range of his orbs. Very good for turret sieging. Mountain Drake means they can kill the turrets much faster.
Now they get kind of the advantage here in top. Darshan is just off. He might get this one up though, not having enough vision towards the river, and there's not many members on the map for Team Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, though, if Team Liquid shows people up top, COD has to rush down mid lane, and there would be no stopping them. So they actually pull off of that top lane turret, and COG is able to get the bottom lane.
He is 4-minute prep on the bot lane. Could be what they worked for. He finally gets that turret down with the help of minions. And they have cleaned up the outer line of turrets so fast they could fly through this jungle. And that's exactly what he wanted from the beginning of the game. Very tricky map. Looking to bait that out. He knew there was going to be some big danger. He might be getting himself a little too overzealous there, but gets out.
Yeah. And the question is going to be, as this game continues for CLG, is it enough that they're up 3,500 gold at 17 minutes with 3 of the outer turrets taken down? Because if they get caught in the wrong team fight with an Orianna Twitch Nautilus combo, it could still be trouble.
That's true. We saw the power on Stixay. Imagine that to the rest of the health bars.
Yeah.
We have not seen it combined.
Because CLG doesn't have any tanks at all. Xmithy's probably going to build a little tanky, but he's probably going X-Drinker next, which is just a bruiser item. So really, a Shockwave, if they do stay grouped up, completely turn the tides of the game.
That Flash Cleaver completed up for Darshan. Definitely assist in the fights now and allow Stixay to just shred people down with Smithy. Looks like opting out of that tank, we were saying. The Maokai left up through picks and bans, not something you see lately. It's the Jace picked up, along with that Aurelion Soul. Corki, and then Aurelion Soul for Huhi. So he is trying to show us that pool he's been talking about.
Yep, first Corki in the NALCS, first Aurelion Soul in the NALCS. Of course, his first game in the NALCS, so there's not many other people who played unique champions, but it's still a little bit different than what we've been seeing around the world. So interesting how he's kind of doing it when he's not even being target banned, though.
Right.
So that's still just him having a quirky champion pool more than a super large one, because he's not actually playing the meta picks. It'll be interesting to see how that develops.
Piglet looking to do the tried and true flask attack. Give Stixay something else to think about. They haven't really gotten any of those stealth initiations down. A little too scary for that at this point. Coming up on 20 minutes, a repeat to the bot lane here for CLG. We'll see if it drops this time. Rain over the rest of the team get there. Mid's kind of evened out for them. Looks like top lane will push a little bit more before it starts to head out.
Yeah, CLG trying to just go back and forth and back and forth. Because they want to catch someone in an Ash Arrow. It's rain over again!
Oh my word! Every single time! It's not even his fault. He's just in that position where it hits him. They figured out where he is. He thought he kind of had a play on Huki, and he was going back and forth with him. And he takes an arrow in the backside.
Yeah, I mean, he is definitely on the short end of some of these arrows, but he has flash up, he has leap up. He's just not reacting fast enough. Obviously, Ash Arrows land on a ton of pro players all the time, but it's consistently hitting rain over, and he's got to do a little bit better to dodge those.
Stixay eagle-eyeing all the Ash Arrows right now. Smithy coming in, flashes, Golden Glue gets hit immediately. We were looking for that last game, and now with CLG having the power, they don't hesitate to do so. Lorlo looks like they can come back. That was an exhaust fuse as well, so damage is going to come forward for the rest of the team. Afro move pops immediately. And CLG are kind of going towers for deaths at this point.
Yeah, really trying to push the tempo right there. Xmithy getting in for the kick on Golden Glue, as well as building tank here with his last few items. Shows what his role is looking to be, is just be a disruptor so the rest of the team can kill the turret. But then they get a little overzealous on the backside and lose another. Nice kick on a Golden Glue right at the start. Here though, Xmithy can't quite escape all the CC from Team Liquid. Yeah. But Hui, as well as Afro, go pretty far forward. They've already killed the turret. So mistaken positioning there by Afro, an unnecessary death. It could have been a 1-for-1 plus the turret. They give a little bit back. And their gold lead is not quite massive yet, but it's pretty big.
Gold lead at 20 for CLG. Pretty good number. See if they can keep that stat or make it even better this season. First game definitely made them think a little differently. They came into game 2 here with a completely different type of composition, playing the game a little more aggressive. Like you said, with the focus for the bot lane, they have been able to open a few things up here. As well, that blue steal in the beginning kind of messed with Rain over quite a bit.
It really has. He's been set back from minute 1.
Yeah.
Then especially the failed invade on Xmithy. And then the multitude of Ash Arrows. Not been his game.
Ash magnets cannot get away from these things.
Yeah.
They're going to be heading down mid now. Wards are placed a bit forward.
Timing by Piglet was perfect.
He tries to go on. He tries to get him down. The heal coming out from Piglet at the last second. I was wondering for a second. I was like, he might be able to zero out one of these fights and run himself away. They are able to take him down. The turret will follow. Team Liquid across the map now working in power of twos with Lorlo and Piglet. I don't expect it, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, and that was a pretty perfect kill there as well for Team Liquid. That's 3 kills now onto Piglet, who is exactly who they want to be fed. There's no tanks, really, no true tanks to deal with a fed Twitch if they get later in this game.
Right.
To mention the shields Team Liquid can put on him.
Great pickup, uncontested, as the waves just need to be cleaned up here by Team Liquid. CLG kind of give them a taste of their own medicine. We saw this happening around 28 minutes for Team Liquid last game, so Counterlogic Gaming with this power pushing forward, not hesitating whatsoever.
Yeah. Puhi's still looking quite strong, but they've made just enough missteps to keep this game quite interesting, because last game when Team Liquid had a similar lead at this point of the game, they had the Maokai, Cassiopeia, Ashe, like good team fighting, sustained damage composition, whereas CLG here has good roaming. They do have the Ashe and Zyra, but you compare it to the team fighting with the true tank and then the mid laner who can also lend shields as well as the shielding support and the hyper carry AD. The team fighting is just that much better for Team Liquid, and because they've been able to sneak these kills here and there while otherwise getting kind of mauled on the map by CLG's rotation and early game strength, they're still leaving the door open for a comeback and a 2-0 victory.
Really does. I'm kind of, whoa.
Going for him again.
Darshan quite far. Dredge line hits. He does get the courage shield on that. The distance was clean. And Piglet, oh, whoopsies.
Yep, and he didn't get the kill. That's the one that hurts Piglet a little bit. So nice job by Darshan to fight back there. Just the assist gold for Piglet. But you can see that's the strat. They're trying to set up Lorlo as a tanky enough dude that can't be soloed up by Darshan. And then they're just roaming Piglet around. The question is, can Ori, Kha'Zix, and Karma deal with the rest of CLG while that's happening? Because they're essentially sending 2 for 1 on the side of a map, and CLG should be able to take an advantage like Baron, but they just haven't been able to set it up.
I feel like you almost can hold that off. Like you said, the shields you have, double speed up there. If somebody really does get into a bad situation, everybody dodges on that one. Rain over, nowhere to be seen. Safe and sound.
Yeah, good for them. See what the cooldown is on that Ashe Arrow at this stage in the game.
Yeah. CLG also giving Team Liquid a little bit of a breather here. I think they are measuring their aggression now, saying, we've gone a little hard. Yeah, the turrets are there and we can take them down fast, but we've gone a little too far on each turret. Now they're waiting for Team Liquid to make a move. We're playing very patient, like you said. Power with Lorlo or this squad roaming around here. That's now added a Piglet.
And with Ludens on Orianna, that's a whole bunch of pain with no magic resist being built up on anyone except for Xsmithy. So Golden Glue, despite just being 1-2 and 2, is packing a really big punch at this phase in the game.
Looking like we could get a game 3 out of this one, and it would be a fantastic one. Both teams have kind of taken themselves to their top strategies out of this, of what they brought into week 1, going with the different picks for CLG here. Definitely threw off Liquid. What do we have for a game 3? That's all up to CLG if they continue to push. It's been a while. This turret's been very low, and they finally come back down to the bottom.
Exactly. They have to make something work. This is the last place they were really trying to set up a play. They said the top side wasn't working. Darshan was getting picked off too much. Let's start doing this back and forth in the jungle again. The 63-second cooldown on Stixxay's Ashe Arrow is back up again. Can they catch someone and push it into a turret? Because that seems to be what was working for them.
Top lane in a very nice position for TL. They have time to dance around here in the bot. CLG breaks apart once again. You get the wards around the map. They don't have too much pushed up towards that top side if they do want to get it towards the inhibitor turret. But they do want bottom tier turret. And Team Liquid is putting all 5 members there exactly each time. This could be slight catch out, at least enough maybe to send Lorlo back and then leave the turret open.
Good stun.
Yeah. He's going to have one shield, gets the Courage Colossus shield as well. He should be safe.
Piglet's waiting to open. Here we go.
There's the Infinity Edge. Can he get the procs on it? Not enough shots to be in range. Changing forms, giving himself a bit of speed, and the flash from Darshan as he is very low. This is giving Counterlogic Gaming on the other side of the map time, but there's roam here from Golden Glue.
Yeah, it's not enough time. They can try and take the Baron with Zyra plants, but it's just not enough because Orianna was coming in and he could have killed all of them. Here we go, though.
Arrows coming down. I think he'll be all right on that. It already hit. That's going to be Golden Glue getting taken out. Rainover hits the ult, flies away.
Into Jace.
Guards into Jace. Shock Blast immediately trying to get instant damage. Slowed down by the missiles. And now it looks like Rainover's still going to go down, even though he tries to void himself to safety. Piglet getting hit by stars. He needs to get out into safety as well. But what a scattered fight as CLG broke from that bottom turret. Liquid followed.
Yeah, well, Team Liquid has this team fighting composition,
Right.
so if CLG spreads it out,
for Baron.
they can start going for that. And yes, they went to stop the Baron, they peeled back, the Ash Arrow hit, and then everything started happening once. Now, they can easily take this Baron. Nice play by CLG.
Much different Baron from game one. The members all walk away with it this time, and we'll see what happened here once again.
Yep, playing through fog.
No! Oh!
The Ash Arrow travels in a straight line. Your flash should not. He gets hit by the arrow. Rainover then also trying to make the great escape. Darshan had TP'd in. He's able to flash out of the Shock Blast, but Huhi is also on the chase. And watch this giant stun that also catches Piglet.
Blam!
So forces him into a tricky situation, but he's still able to get away. Now, Baron buff, giant galaxy moving towards the mid lane turret, gonna try and push him off.
Clear the waves. Darshan can stand off on the edge here and just fire in shock blasts. And they're going to nicely be able to grab this turret. CLG with dragon control throughout the game as well. A different game here in number 2. Inhibitor goes down. And we're kind of on the timeline of last game. 28 minutes, the base is broken. And they actually have top wave pouring in as well.
Yep, Leandri's Torment completed for Huhi. He's doing big damage right now.
Yeah.
This would be the moment for Team Liquid to try and make a stand. If they could get a good initiation with the Nautilus, Piglet has flash, so it gives him that little bit of outplay potential if they get a team fight. But a Baron buff and 7,000 gold is a lot to fight.
Whoa! Huge shockwave from Golden Glue on 3. They're going on to Stixay. Huhi low. They're going to get the kill onto him. That's Stixay taking down Rainover. That's the pop that they need. If Rainover can't get back and zero these guys out, it's Piglet, and he's too far behind. That was the chance.
I was directing everyone eyes to Lorlo and Piglet, and then Golden Glue just had that Orianna ball chilling in the lane. Hits 3, but miraculously, nobody dies from CLG. They have just enough health on some of these guys. Look at this. He just chills that Orianna ball in the minion. So they weren't looking at it. Full combo. But they had flashes and heals up. They use them all. Rainover is trying to pop in for resets. Doesn't quite get it.
Got way too excited as an Orianna player. I apologize. But that was great.
Well, he seemed to hide it in the minion right there.
That's what you do. There's no reason to move it around and fight. Usually the dragon, you can put it off by the wall or hang it out somewhere. And you'll notice the AD carry walks by it because he's looking at the fight. It's very easy to play with that ball and get in your opponent's head. 10-6. Unfortunately, not being able to come out on that. CLG playing great and also reacting great to bad situations. They now finally get this bottom turret down. Another dragon in their favor, which makes the turrets fall even easier.
Yep, second Mountain Drake. They still have the Baron.
Yeah.
They just need a few hits on this. They Ash Arrow, call that a zoning arrow. Look at that turret, it's gone.
All the arrows have been pretty great today. Had some awesome ones yesterday as well. Ashes are on point. Looking at a 10,000 gold lead just about as they start to head into the base for inhibitor number 2. Piglet staying very close to his support. Rainover looking for any stragglers that he can get to, but he'll pop just as fast as he goes in, so he's got to be careful.
Yeah, CLG trying to go in.
It's a good grab. Voice of Light goes out. That's the shockwave into Dissonance. So you see the damage for Huhi actually not filing through that HP he's built up on himself just now.
Well, that's the thing. Even though he doesn't have MR, his build is very tanky. 2,800 health. All of his AP items, double his health items. Gotta mention, though, Piglet's starting to hit that point. Infinity Edge,
Phantom
Dancer, Hurricane, 70% crit. He's got to put a little bit of attack damage in there, and he's going to start crushing people as long as he's not getting caught by Ash Arrows or Rogue Lee Sins.
I mean, they all have to be careful. 2 Rylai's as well around the map is going to slow you down for that Ash Arrow to hit if it doesn't do it first. So a lot of things to keep an eye on right now. As we say, Lorlo is that initiator. Watching Hoopy and Xmithy now on split sides. And it should just be the inhibitor. Lorlo is trying to go big shield on. Not able to get it. There's a big throwdown by Matt, but nobody could use the speed.
Yeah, losing 2 inhibitors against a team that's as exquisite at CLG and map rotations is usually the game. So expect Team Liquid, with the Nautilus ult now up and the Shockwave up in 5 seconds, to try and fight on this wave.
A huge...
Watch the Orianna ball. He's trying to hide it again.
Yep. Sitting right next to the plant. Nice minion wave
It's
to the
now
top
revealed.
side.
Yeah. Here we go.
Drops it out, has the command protect onto Lorlo. That's Xmithy going down. Way too close. That's not going to be too good of a Zyra ult. Everybody pops off. There's the hit. Shockwave into Dredgeline. A 1-2. Is there a 3? Yes, there is. They're going to find Stixay, and he goes down. As we said, minions are pouring in. They have a lot of janitorial duty to do, but great kills by Team Liquid.
And they don't lose the Nexus turrets. Those things gain back health over time. A perfect hold for Team Liquid. 3 kills. They didn't lose the inhibitor. They didn't lose the Nexus turret. And they keep themselves in the game.
Interesting way here. The way they're splitting almost allowed the back line to be completely open here.
Yeah, I mean, just watch for Piglet. That's all he's trying to do is get the right open. He goes straight on Xmithy. That's the tankiest dude on CLG. Yeah. He died in about 1.5 seconds. He then does get a lot of damage on a Piglet with the Voice of Light, but it's not enough. He still has the shielding potential from Matt, and they can quickly chase down Stixay. That should change the way CLG approaches those moves in the future,
that changes things.
Even with a 10,000 gold lead, they can't stand toe-to-toe with that Team Liquid 5v5, so they have to find ways to get picks.
Hopefully it doesn't cause any hesitation in those picks. They still have that Ash Arrow. Stixay has been tried and true with it so far. Just looking for the right targets now. Team Liquid is able to get these people hit with an Ash Arrow out of the situation, whereas Counterlogic Gaming was picking up a lot of ground before with a member of TL, be it Rainover, and a turret. A member of TL and a turret. They don't really have too many turrets to take down anymore. So TL's been able to hide in their base, and it makes the fight much harder.
Absolutely.
He with the roam still. Looks like he's going to join with the team. A 5v5, or I'm sorry, a 5v4 would be detrimental.
It really would be. It's all about finding the Ash Arrow on the right person and then not funneling through the wrong spot, because it's the Shockwave and the Twitch ultimate they have to deal with. Although Baron up in 28 seconds.
Let's do it.
Elder Drake up in 130. CLG also able to catch Team Liquid in choke points if they get a good Zyra combo into Aurelion Sol, but Lorlo sees Aurelion Sol top.
Yep. Banshee's Veil from Xmithy. Stops that one down right in its tracks.
That could have been, it would have been a big risk for Team Liquid, but that's the fear. Could have been a 5v4 for Team Liquid, as long as they can keep their waves pushing. It's all on Piglet here, and Team Liquid's ability to protect him with their front line and the positioning of Golden Blue's Orianna.
He's actually hanging back very far. Comes out now once he sees the team, and they're able to join him. But look at him, he knows that range so well. They open up onto Huhi. That's the distraction. Huhi's focused now, and he could go down. Piglet was staying there. Yeah, flashed into the stun, but they are able to drop Huhi. What a risky move. He's just walking forward. Stixay shouldn't burn down on that one. They should get out safely, and CLG is forced to run from this. So patient. Piglet was waiting, understood that range to a T, and caught Huhi.
Yeah, and if he hadn't flashed straight into a stun, that could have been much worse for CLG. Now, though, both summoner spells are gone. Stixay was forced back to base. Team Liquid going for Baron. Xmithy would want to steal.
It's on the board. I can't see him not going in for this one. Good dodge by Aftermood. They know the dredge line is down. A bit of CC that won't stop him from getting in. They're hit onto Rainover. They want to give him a focus. In. It's the hit. It actually goes to Golden Glue. They're still able to get it. Xmithy's flash is out. Take a breather. Set it up. Liquid is going to be able to stop these pushes a little bit better now, but CLG still has a lot to work with. It's going away.
Yeah, they have the turrets down, but their win conditions are dwindling. The Elder Drake could be a big thing if they get it now. They're just rushing in because they know Team Liquid has gone back to base.
Seems like they're pulling off just a little bit. All right. So yeah, we have Baron. No reason to waste that. We can wait out an Elder.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Here's the question COD's got to answer very quickly, though, because they have 2.5 A lot of shields and heals on Piglet make it not so disastrous that Aurelion Sol got to combo him. The Nautilus Assault on a Stixxay takes him out of the fight. Piglet immediately focuses, eats an exhaust as well as a flash heal from Stixxay, nearly kills him. And then they're able to win that. But if we're thinking about the power curves of this game, the next time the Elder Drake's up 10 minutes from now, CLG's most likely not going to be able to get it.
Right.
But they're also at this point where they don't have the Baron buff to set up really powerful pushes. Are they just trying to stall out this 2.5 minutes to reduce the duration of Team Liquid's Baron? Or, while they have the triple Elemental Drake empowered Elder, do they just try and fight now as almost a last-ditch effort to prevent the TL snowball that is coming into the late game?
If you can get that fight somewhere out, kind of in the middle of the map, make sure waves are in a good spot. If you do lose it, so much risk. But I do agree, try and throw themselves in there and make sure that TL can't get too much stronger.
Piglet wants to find that window.
Guardian Angel finished up on Darshan now, as well as looking like one's coming from Xfinity.
Yeah, likewise, if we're thinking about Team Liquid right now, knowing CLG has that Elder Drake, Team Liquid can't be impatient. They've made it this far, and they're starting to get those endgame builds on their carries that can't be tanked through by CLG's relatively squishy composition. So CLG now being like, yeah, we have 3 Elemental Drakes, let's push.
A little bit of
Orla
pressure.
fight.
Just tossing it out there. Very tense right now. That gold lead has shrunk now to 5, 10 to 10 on that scoreboard.
Roughly 30 seconds left on CLG's buff.
Yep.
So it would be the next wave if they want to go for it.
Pretty smart play by Liquid to kind of just give that one up. CLG's only been able to cover the map with vision here. And this is where we question now, how will it end? How does it end? It's going to be hard for these guys to get in. They have the Ash Arrow, but they have to commit after that.
Yeah. Piglet now has a QSS. He is the only one who can cleanse CC on his team right now. Although substantial shielding is available to anyone who gets hit by an Ash Arrow. Locket, Redemption, Karma, Orianna, all those things can get thrown on whoever CLG tries to focus.
Who's coming up 40 minutes in. Quite a bit of items on Afro-Moon. Not max though. Lore low.
Good luck.
Yeah. I'm going to say we'll see if they can burn him down. He got that dredge line out so he can get out of the grasping root. All right there.
Now that Ash Arrow's down, Heroes low.
Karma's in. They actually go the depth charge through, which breaks that Banshee's veil as well. They're still going to the fight. Looks on Piglet here. Piglet flashes away to try to get the shots in. Now they're looking for Darshan. He's low, which means the rest of the team has to run. That's a lot of damage. And Afro-Moo goes down first. Team Liquid comes out on top of that fight. Arrow fired, and they fire back.
Yeah, and Golden Glue actually completely whiffed his Orianna ult there, but you just saw how much stronger Team Liquid is in these team fights. Let's see how long they want to keep this push rolling.
That protection is there. We talked about the Maokai, or I'm sorry, the Nautilus over the Maokai, and Lorlo has stood next to Piglet and engages like that, making sure he has the crowd control and making sure he can continue to deliver DPS. They are coming up on that inhibitor turret with a little bit of damage, but are forced off.
Yeah, and we've talked a lot about the ability to protect Piglet with shields, but shields are actually even more efficient on tanks because the armor and magic resist increase the effective health value of the shield. So when Lorlo gets hit by that Ash Arrow, he doesn't even take damage as long as Team Liquid's in range to heal. But CLG trying to rush and pressure Team Liquid back to base thanks to the giant minion wave that took another turret in the top lane. So even though Team Liquid is looking like they're winning team fights, one wrong move and CLG will win.
There's that initiation again, a great depth charge.
Yep. So Golden Glue had his Orianna ball on Lorlo, but it exceeded the range and snapped back right before he cast the ultimate. Otherwise, it would have been devastating. Just as there's about a quarter second, it felt like, before the cast of the ult did that ball fly back on a Golden Glue.
Sometimes I've always wondered if it could just stay there.
Forever. Just trust the map.
Forever. I can't move it anymore.
You got this mid lane Orianna, meanwhile Kaz in the top lane, just Orianna ulting people.
That would be great. It needs to be a mode. Global ults and skills for everyone. All right, slowly walking around. There's the big guy of the team. Everybody behind Lorlo, and they're able to come out on top of these fights with the follow-up damage. And again, he leads the train up mid lane. Matt, good on itemization as well. We were just talking about Afremu filling up. They have their power, they have their redemption. Looking to get what they can in before they go down in these fights. We've seen Afremu go down quite quickly as a focus. Darshan, as we said, not a tank, taking a lot of that damage, and was one of the big reasons, along with the initiation, they had to back out of that fight. He went down so quick.
Absolutely. Blade of the Rune King was finished by Piglet as well, just increasing his threat. Team Liquid trying to keep themselves together. If they get spread out, they become vulnerable to the Ash Arrow. But if they stick in the same spot and Lorlo stays in front of them with that huge Nautilus, they'll be fine.
Oh, you say what? Stixay gets destroyed there. Piglet's gonna be the next one. He tries to get a little too close, and Darshan comes in. Teleports right into the middle of the fight. Thought maybe Team Liquid would back off of it under turret. Rainover now goes in. He's very low. That's gonna be Darshan falling. Team Liquid look to clean up Counter Logic Gaming in their own base, and it is the command move. The hit coming in from Golden Glue, and they link it all together to take down CLG's inhibitors.
And such a patient performance by Team Liquid to withstand the bombardment of COG's early and mid game and push 43 minutes in for the win.
Absolutely ridiculous. Never tempering themselves, always holding strong, and knowing there was a point they could scale. Again, Piglet, very excited, clapping the team to victory as they continue to hit the Nexus. Well played to Team Liquid, a very clean win over Counter Logic Gaming.
And wins like this are a great early sign for the strength and cohesion of Team Liquid, being down heavily in the early and mid game, but understanding the way the team composition is supposed to work, making sure Piglet is sneaking around for those kills, and then sticking together in the late game fights to pull out the final victory in a 2 over CLG is an impressive start for this squad.
I loved it as well that CLG brought out power in this game too. Not in the Champions, but they played well, they played their composition. They were running Team Liquid ragged around the map, and then it came to scaling. That happens sometimes.
Yeah.
The first game, it was Team Liquid doing that. So we've seen both of these teams now adapt and then able to switch it up for the next game and play better. Fortunately, in the end, for CLG, Team Liquid took the win.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough loss for CLG because they had their Aurelion Sol. They went back to kind of their bread and butter. They said,
doing so well.
We're going to rotate around the map. We're going to beat you fast. You're not going to be able to hold your turrets. But we kept mentioning, Riv, those little kills the Team Liquid is picking up here and there.
Turret for kill.
Not letting the gold lead get above 5,000, making sure Piglet was keeping pace with items. And eventually they just outscaled.
Absolutely. The bot lane as well, not too hit up by a level 6 Ashe and Zyra. They really avoided that, which was something Team Liquid themselves, not with Ashe Zyra, were able to use in their composition. The Ashe for Piglet was so good. The Ashe for Stixay was awesome as well. His arrows were so on point, and that is terrifying to play against this guy. He's trying to say, yeah, I'm the best, and we saw arrows that could prove it.
Yeah, exactly. It is a 2-0 on paper, but that second game, this game was very competitive. We were thinking that it was going to be going to a third game, but just the resiliency of Team Liquid with Rainover, who was 0-6, I believe, at one point in that game, but the team didn't tilt. They didn't throw him under the bus. He picked up a double kill in the last team fight. They knew what they had to do, and they did it.
It's just one thing. It's like, Rainover, it's okay. Just don't get hit by arrows. And it's so simple, right?
He stayed really far away from everyone.
He's like, Piglet, I'll play where you're playing. You seem to have good positioning right now. An absolutely amazing game. Awesome to see that team coming together. A lot of people had high expectations, as well as Steve, the manager, to say, hey, we grabbed Rainover. We're putting Piglet back in the lineup. That's something that caused turmoil before, but that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, especially after they released that documentary Breaking Point, people were like, what is going on with this team? They had to come in to kind of win some of the reputation back early in the split. They made big splashes in the offseason with Rainover, and then little baby splashes being like, oh yeah, we're going to throw Golden Glue in the mid lane, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But it was fine.
And he played well.
In this game. He played well. He had some great shockwaves. He had some not as great shotwaves, but he still played with the team, and hopefully it's a great start to the season for Team Liquid.
Absolutely. Again, they said it last year. I think it was Dardock who tweeted it. No, we're doing good, I know. Temper your expectations, though. I don't know if they have to do that this time. Rainover played really well. We kind of had the answers, a few answers of would it be Lorlo, would it be the bottom lane? And there was a little love for Lorlo. We're going to have an interview with TL in just a few minutes. And then a lot of love for the bot lane. And again, Piglet was a priority for them, so they went right back to it.
Yeah, I mean, Lorlo didn't die in that entire game. When you consider the fact that CLG was just everywhere on the map, running back and forth, to never get picked off and die is a feat in itself.
Yeah.
So Lorlo, 1 death in his entire series against CLG. Great start. Piglet and Matt, I have to say, like, you're thinking about the bot lanes that they're going to be playing against, and I know you're not supposed to overreact, but Stixxay and Aphromoo are the best, and they beat them.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So that's really, really promising for Piglet and Matt.
We'll see how it goes. They have chances to redeem themselves. As we always say, it is a long split. So for more on that win, let's hand it to Zyrene, who is side